Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I'm coming with this new video. I'm all done up and ready to go because this video that I'm gonna do today is gonna be a little bit different. I know, me and the different videos, right? So if you want to see what video, then keep on watching. Okay, so it's 2021. 2020 is gone. Hopefully 2021 is just a better year because we need this. We need a good year, right? Because what a 2020. So it's like, I know, like for the first part of 2020 we were kind of going out and doing things and partying and however, when late March hits, late March, early April, everything just kind of like went down the hill. So I was like, okay, so which palettes was I reaching for, like for the whole year? Maybe to do videos, maybe I use them in the early of the year. They're not palettes that necessarily got launched last year, but they were palettes that I personally was reaching for a lot in 2020. So today we're gonna make a video about my top 2020 eyeshadow palettes. Like, this was hard. Like, it was so hard. After a while I'm like, okay, it's between these two or these two, and I'm like, maybe I should just do any mini minimal because it's so hard for me to just pick one palette. So I wasn't sure which one to pick. I love like pretty much most of my palettes. If I buy it, I like it, but there's some that obviously perform better than the others. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and just kind of go for it. So we're gonna start with number 10 and we're gonna go down from there. I actually, let me just give her credit. The first I saw Makeup by Tommy did this video and I thought, oh my god, that's a really good idea, since there are so many videos that I liked, or so many palettes, sorry, that I liked for 2020. So I'm like, let me go ahead and do this. Let's do this. So yeah, let's get into this palette. So I'm gonna start with number 10. My number 10 palette for 2020 was this palette right here. I think this came out last year, but this was e.l.f. and JKissa. e.l.f. and JKissa. So the palette comes plain and it comes with the stickers and you just kind of like make it your own. So this was mine. I tried to like spell my channel name right here, Desire Beauty. So that was kind of cute, right? So this is number 10. I find myself reaching for this palette. This palette was pretty inexpensive, obviously, because it's from e.l.f. So I thought this was like a really good idea. And to put this, I think she did it with like to rescue dogs, I think, or animals. Let's bring on the mirror. It looks like so. It is. Let me just put a disclaimer. Like 99.99% of these palettes are gonna be bright palettes because I like bright colors. It's just, that's me. I like bright colors. I just like bold eyeshadows all the time. So I don't have anything nude in here. Sorry. So you can kind of do a nude look, like if you use like maybe like these shades right here, kind of a little bit, and then you put some shimmer. I don't know. All I'm saying. So this palette is my number 10 palette. Let's see. So there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 12 mattes, and then there are 6 shimmers. This palette is literally like, if you're looking for like a really bright kind of eyeshadow palette, and I would go for this. Like, I love this. Like, this is so good, and I feel like it's a different formula from like e.l.f. regular shadows, although e.l.f. have really stepped up the game. To be honest with you, like e.l.f. have really stepped up the game with the eyeshadows. So I'm not sure if this was a limited edition one but if they still sell this and you can get your hands on it, I would go ahead and grab this because this is really good, and the formula, like it just works amazing. I'm actually not really sure where my number 9 palette is sold, outside of where, like maybe the South, so maybe Texas. So we have our grocery store chain called H-E-B, and I went there and then I saw this brand right here called Moira. So my number 9 palette is gonna be Wanderlust from Moira, and it's the Dream Series palette. These formulas are amazing. I think I paid $16 for this palette. Like, this is so good, so good. I've never heard of the brand before. Like, it was my first time even seeing the brand. I got one palette and I was like, okay. Oh, I'm thirsty. I have to go back and get, I think I got like 2 or 3 more. But this one, the Wanderlust, is my favorite. So I know another bright, oh, I'm so sorry. I know it's another bright palette. So, oh, I can put my nails in here. So it looks like so. And you know what? This one you can kind of get like, you know, like you can use this right here to get it. Like, there are a few shades. There's a brown that you can get. But man, the blues in here and the greens in here, they are so good. Like they're so pigmented and so buttery. Like the mattes are so buttery. Like, and those are my favorite mattes to work with. Are mattes that are like pigmented but buttery. When they're real dusty, they are not pigmented. So something to keep, you know, a lookout for. Again, I'm not sure where this is sold away from H-E-B. You can maybe check online or whatever. This was $16. So if you can get your hand on them, let me see. So there's 15 mattes in there and 3 shimmers. So maybe there should be a little bit like more shimmers in there, but the shimmers in there are so good that they like literally, they make up for not, you know. But yeah, this palette is so good, like so good, and it's $16. So if you can get your hands on this, again, this is Moira, the Wanderlust palette. They have other ones, but this one was my favorite. So that's where it really started getting hard for me to kind of break down, you know, like. So my number 8 palette, I know, another bright palette. So this one is from Beaute, and this is called Nostalgia. This palette is so good. Actually, all my Ace palettes are really good. They're so good. Like, they're so good. They're so pigmented. They're amazing. Yes, this one is bright. Like, you just... So this is it right here. Oh my god, this palette is so good, and it's so pigmented. Like, it's so pigmented. You can kind of do a nude look right here. You know, a little nude, I don't know. And then use this shade maybe. I don't know, but these are pigmented. Same thing like the other palette. Like, the mattes are really buttery. This one has 3 shimmers and 12 mattes. But again, love it. Love this palette. I love most of my palettes for the most part. The ones I get in my Boxy Charms is a hit or miss, or if I get them as a gift. Most of my palettes I buy anyways, so I usually buy the ones that I really like. And yeah, so I'm just fixing this here because it's doing its own thing. This is a really good palette. If you can get your hands on it, get it. So this is, oh my god, so we went through 10, 9, and 8. My next palette, another bright palette. I know, I'm just trying. My other palette is gonna be the Wahalla 2 from Juvia's Place, and this is my number 7 palettes. Is it my number 7? Yep. 10, 9, 8. Yep, my number 7 palette, and it's the Wahalla 2. I can just hold it like this because there's no mirror. So this palette, like, I know when you look at it, it's like very intimidating because it looks like a lot going on. But to be honest with you, like, they're so good. Like, the formula is so good, and the shades work really well. So you don't have to worry about this. Like, I can tell you, like, you will love this palette. Right here, you can do this nude look. Like this shade's a nude-esque. I know. But you know, I love bright shadows. Like when I come out with my own makeup line, because it's gonna happen, you know, let's speak it into existence. It's gonna happen. Let's you know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna look something maybe like this. Like it's definitely gonna be bright because that's my favorite type of shadows. So this is actually, how much was this? Was this $40, I think? And let me see. Okay, so there's 30 shades and there's 3 glitters. 6, 8, 10, 12. So there's quite a few shimmers, and then there's just 10 mattes. But man, this is so good. And then the blues in there, they're just like so creamy, buttery, you know, amazing. Like the shimmers, like I love them. I love the mattes. I just love this palette. Love this palette. My number 6 palette is this palette right here from Glamlite. Is the ice cream palette. I'm doing this because this shakes. I know I'm like the biggest kid. This is so good. I think I pretty much have all, if not all the palettes from Glamlite. I have most of them. Her formula is just like out of this world. And they're so cute. Like, you know, the whole idea is like she has the burger, she has the taco, she has the pizza, she has the cake palette. Like, I just feel like this is just so cute, so cute. The packaging, her packaging is like, when I take it out of the package, I don't want to throw it away. I'm like, okay, so this looks like, so I know another bright ass palette. And I don't really have anything that have like all these shades right here. So this was, you know, the perfect palette for that. I love bright shadows. When you come to my channel, you're gonna see a lot of bright looks. I'm sorry, but you know, that's who I am. Like, that's what I like, right? Because I mean, it's kind of like in this palette specifically, it's kind of like an even, I guess, amount of like shimmers and mattes. But if you have an all matte palette and you get this palette, like you get so many shimmers. Like this golden here called Lemon is so good. I like this one right here called Blueberry Cheesecake. I don't know, I'll just eat it. Like, it's so good. Like this palette is so good. Like, does she have my favorites? Let me see. I like French Vanilla. And then this, you know, it brings out my inner kid. Like, this is like sprinkles. You know, you put the sprinkles on your ice cream. I don't really put sprinkles on my ice cream, but I don't necessarily like ice cream like that. But I do like frozen yogurt. Like froyo, sign me up. And I do put sprinkles sometimes. My reason, I know. My reason for eating froyo is because it's healthier than just ice cream, right? That's what I tell myself. But by the time I'm done with it, it's not healthy because I put Butterfinger on there, and I put this little tapioca thing is, which is pretty much just, you know, sugar. So it's all just sugar, but I love it. Whew. Now my top 5. Let's go to the top 5. Oh my god, I don't even know. Okay, so my number 5 palette, and I know this palette is pricey, but Sephora had sale on it, and that's when I got the palette. So that's when to get your palettes. This is the Natasha Denona, and this one is the Metropolis palette. This palette, her palettes are expensive. This is $129, but her formulas, I feel like Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath, like their formulas are like up here, and then everybody else is like down here. I mean, obviously, if you can't afford to buy it, like I can't either, I have to wait when they go on sale. The best thing to do is to just wait when they're on sale and get it. That's what this palette look like. So right here, you know what? Here is my neutral palette. That's my story. Here's my neutral palettes. Like these greens in here are so good. Like these blues are amazing. Like her shimmers are like mwah. And then the mattes, like I don't know what else, like what to say about this palette. Then if you can ever get your hands on any of her palettes, I have this one, and then I have the Desert Dusk, I think. Yeah, that's another palette too that's like really good, but this is my favorite because I think this is my favorite because with that palette, because of these, like the blues and the greens on here, they're so good. So yeah, this palette is altered this world. Again, this palette did not come out last year, or in 2020, but I go for it. Like literally every blue look or every green look, I try to top this off like some way, somehow with this. This is like amazing, amazing. So if you can get your hands on this, get this. Why is my bun, you know, my messy bun going back? Oh my god, I have only 4 palettes left, and I'm like, I don't know. Let's drink some water. So, my number 4 palette is gonna be from Pat McGrath. I know I didn't pick one of her big palettes, because I love her formula. I have all the big palettes, like all of them, because I gotta have it because they're so good. But my favorite Pat McGrath palette is this one. It's the Nocturnal palette, and it's just 4 shades. But man, what a 4 shades it is. It looks like so. So there's a purple, and so this shade right here is like, depending on how you look at it, it's like a green, and then sometimes it looks like it's a brown. It's just it's really like shifty kind of shade. The bad thing is it's all shimmers, but I put this in my other V and then use this, you know, for my like lid or whatever. But this is so good, like so good. And I know, like, yeah, a lot of people don't like to put shimmers in the crease, and I get it because it's creases, especially if you have like your lid is already creasy or you don't use like a good base. I know like shimmers in your crease can be terrible. They also can be hard to blend. Like it can get really hard to blend. So I get all that. But if you eat any kind of makeup, or if you like makeup or whatever, you already have a matte palette. Like it just is, right? So right here. Or if you're like a real neutral kind of person, like you do your neutral look and then pop of color. Like, you know, you also get, and it has a mirror, like, which is amazing. You get, you know, this in your like, you know, tear duct or whatever, and then all this, like this is so good. Like I love this palette. That's why it made my number 4. So I only have 3 palettes left. So my number 3 palette for 2020. Again, these palettes didn't necessarily come out in 2020, but those were the palettes I find myself reaching for like a lot in 2020. So get it? Okay, so my number 3 palette is gonna be, oh, I love this palette. Oh god, I love this palette. So this is my Muerte or Muerta. I think it's Muerta. Oh my god. My Spanish friends are gonna like come for me.
Come on now, you heard what Brian said. Just be cool.
I'm gonna be cool. I just want to say hi. That's all. Wait. I'm gonna just say hello.
Please don't. Like, e.l.f. Cosmetics is another company. I think that's like, they have so many good eyeshadows. I don't really see like a lot of people talking about them. Kind of like Ace Beauty as well. Like, but the eyeshadows are so good. So why aren't you talking about them? Why not? Why not, right? Like if you're gonna go for that smoky red look, like this is like just so good. If you wanna do like a black look, a blue look, like, and then your shimmer in your tear duct or your inner corner. The only sad thing is it was a limited edition and they no longer carry it, but I love this palette. And I know, like, you know, eyeshadows expire and stuff like that, but guess what? I'm never getting rid of this, because this is like, you know, a collector's item. Like when you put the Beaute next to it, like it forms the whole face. Love it. Never getting rid of this. I'll be like old and wrinkled and gray and still have this. Okay. So my number 2 palette that I reach for all the time in 2020 is gonna be the Secret Sinner palette from P.Louise. I almost say P.Louise base. No, it's not the base. It's the company name is P.Louise, and then this is the Sinner Secret palette. I love this palette, but there's a but. I have 2 issues with this palette. That white gets so dirty. So, but the good thing about it, that when it gets dirty, you can just take a wipe and just kind of wipe it over it. But I don't have time for that. You understand what I'm saying? Like the palette, this gets very dirty, so you have to clean it, and it is really bulky. See how thick this is? So those are my 2, I guess I could say, cons with this palette. How bulky it is and how this part of it gets dirty. However, if you can just look past the bulkiness right here and then the color getting dirty, if you can get just past that, the eyeshadows in here are amazing. Like, you know what? I feel like her formula is up there with like Natasha Denona, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like her formula is up there. So it's an all matte palette. It's all mattes. There's no shimmers in here. But again, most of us already have either a palette that has shimmers or a palette that have matte. So, you know, that doesn't really bother me. Like the formula is like, mwah. It's so good. Like, it's so good. You tap in here and you just like, no, oh my god, this is not blendable. Nope, none of that. You put it on there and it just blends like crazy. I use this shade. This is like the perfect like brown shade right here, kind of dark brown, kind of maybe burgundy. I love that shade. I think I maybe almost hit pan on there. And then this orange right here and this yellow. So orange and yellow is kind of weird on my skin tone. Like, they can show up when they feel like it and then don't show up when they don't feel like it, you know, because I'm kind of yellow, I guess, or I have yellow undertone. I just have to make sure I primarily do with P.Louise base, and these 2 shades show up. So good. Okay, drum roll. My number 1 palette for 2020, and maybe it's gonna be forever. You know what? Let's forget I said that part, because most likely that's not true. So I move my recording studio to like an upstairs bedroom, and then this was downstairs, and I move it downstairs, and I can move it back. Like, this palette goes pretty much with me everywhere. So this is the BPerfect Cosmetics X Stacey Marie, and then this one is the Carnival 3. This one is my favorite. I have the 2 others. I have the regular one, the Carnival 2, and this one. That's it for me. This one, like, it is amazing. Like, the formula in here is so good. I do have other palettes here, to be honest, like the Natasha Denona, the Muerte palette, the Glamlite palette. The formulas may be a little bit better. The P.Louise formula is better. However, the reason why I picked this over those palettes, the shade selection in this palette is like out of this world. Like look at this. Like, this palette is giant. Like, it's so big. Like, it's so big. See, I was just talking about like traveling with this P.Louise. If I'm traveling, I could just go with just this. Yeah, it's big, but one, it's not a stick, so it's like literally this thick. Because I could get so many different looks from just this palette that I would be 100% comfortable with just taking this, put this in my backpack. Because when I'm traveling, especially when I'm traveling international, I like to travel with a backpack, and then I can put like, you know, a sweater or blankets or, you know, my computer and everything else in there. But this could just fit in there. This is all I need. A lot of her collection with them or collaboration with them is limited edition, so I'm not sure if you can still get this palette. However, if you can get this palette, like, just get it, because that's like literally, especially if you know you're not making YouTube videos and you just really just want one palette, I feel like you can get everything that you would need in here, like everything for just one palette. Like, why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want this? Why wouldn't you want this? I'm just joking. But if you're gonna get it for one palette, like, get these. Like, if you like colors. So that's it, guys, for my top 10 palettes of 2020. Like, I feel like this video is like so long because I'm just like, no. This is my favorite palette. I love it. But yeah. But I gotta talk about my makeup and eyeshadow. Eyeshadow, man, is like, eyeshadow and lips. Lipsticks. Those, you know, like, near and dear to my heart. Like, those are my favorite things in makeup. I mean, I love makeup, but those are the things that get me all excited. So that's it, guys, for this video, you know, for my top 10 eyeshadow palettes for 2020. So don't forget to like, subscribe, join the family, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.